In the carnivore community, we know that eating in the most natural, primal way is the secret to health. But why stop there? You can apply the same strategies to just about everything else in your life. Let's say childbirth. And that's what I'll be discussing in today's video. How to have a good and natural childbirth. That is easy too. There are so many different strategies you can employ to ensure that your birth is quick, easy, and enjoyable. Yes, you heard me right, enjoyable. My first son was born at home, in water, with hypnosis, with spinning babies, and it was one of the most memorable experiences of my life. And guess what? I want to do it all over again. But to get to that point where your labor is something you are looking forward to, there are so many things you can do. Let's start with the first one, because I am the carnivore coach. I have to tell you that one of the things that will help you is a diet that is very high, like 80 to 85% of animal proteins will ensure a good birth. But today, I want to focus on your posture and movement that can help the baby be in the right position when it comes to labor, so it can just descend and you can just get it out. And you can oftentimes save yourself sometimes 8 to 10 hours of labor just to make sure that your baby gets into the right position, ready to be born. The very first thing you will learn from your midwives and or from your doulas, especially if they are spinning babies trained, is to sit up straight with your shoulders back and your knees slightly below your hip line. That's right, that is the best position to make sure your baby uses your belly as a hammock and aligns its spine with your belly button. So you always need to pay attention when you sit up straight with your knees below your hips. Now, if you are doing a lot of lounging, reclining, putting your feet up, spending a lot of time on your sofas, especially if we're talking second trimester and on, you are signaling to your baby that the nicest hammock-like environment is against your spine. So the baby will align its spine with your spine. So if you happen to go to labor in that kind of positioning, then the baby will need a few hours to get its spine to align with your belly button, and then it will be its natural path to descend and to come out. But you can get your baby in the right position before you go into labor. And sitting up straight with your knees below your hip line is one of the best strategies that doesn't cost you anything. Let me show you some of the tools and props you can use to make sure that you are always in the right sitting position. First thing first, avoid all kind of sofas and lounge type chairs, which will elevate your knees above the hip line, and this is definitely not beneficial for the optimal positioning of your baby. So from the second trimester on, you'll be looking at sitting mostly at the dining table chairs, and you might have to add either a folded blanket, a cushion, just to make sure that your knees are slightly below the line of your hips. I also recommend to get a fitball, and depending on your height, it should be either 55 centimeters, 65 and 75 centimeters. I'm 5'8", so I'll be using 65 centimeters. And it is a low-cost investment, and you can practice exactly how a spinning baby is recommending, where your knees are slightly below the hip line. Your belly is in the position of creating that hammock environment. And then you can also bounce and move around on the ball to relax your hips, to help your pelvis open up. It is a great tool, not expensive. You can get a very good fit ball for about $30. And the fitball has yet another very useful application after the baby is born, because what you can do with it in the first 2 to 3 weeks of your baby's life, they love to be bounced on the ball. So if your baby needs to be soothed or cannot come down, you take it in your arms, you sit on the ball and you start bouncing. And the babies absolutely love it. It is such a hack, and I learned it from one of my doulas as well. Another great tool is a kneeling chair, and I've already had it because if I have to spend a couple hours working in front of the computer, I will do it on the kneeling chair, and that's how I like to work. But if you don't already have it, it is not a must. If you want to make an investment, you need to probably spend about $80 for a good quality kneeling chair. But that chair will also ensure that your knees are way below your hip line and your back stays straight. Again, it helps your baby to be in the right position. So to sum it up, my choices for sitting is a dining table chair with a cushion, or a kneeling chair, or the fitball. I avoid couches. I don't lounge, I don't recline, I don't put my feet up. If I go on the couch, it's just to lay down on my side. Otherwise, I don't use it at all. If the last 2 trimesters of your pregnancy will be in the cold winter months and you are in the northern hemisphere, pay attention to the temperature of your belly. Your belly always has to be warm. And in winter isn't that easy because the belly is getting really big, your jackets are getting tighter, so naturally the belly tends to stick out. But you have to pay attention that your belly is warm, because again, your baby will get the message that the safest part of your belly is when its spine is aligned with your spine, and that's where it's warmest. And baby will turn if it feels cooler temperatures around your belly button, and we don't want that. So always be sure that your belly is well protected and warm in the winter months. Finally, visit spinningbabies.com. It is a website full of resources created by midwife Gail Tooley, who traveled all over the world to all the traditional cultures, learning how they deliver babies, how they help women to get through pregnancy safely but naturally. And yeah, there are so many free resources there and courses. You can get certified by Spinning Babies. A lot of exercises, a lot of positioning that I was talking about comes from Spinning Babies. And if you are looking to choose a midwife or a doula, a lot of them will be Spinning Babies certified. It is a great resource. Even if your practitioner asks you to attend some prenatal classes or parenting classes, Spinning Babies probably have the best courses. So I highly recommend. I will link to the website in the description box. If you are looking to get pregnant or already are, this is a wonderful resource. Alright, so these are my very easy and simple strategies to make sure your baby gets in the right position when you are ready to go into labor. As you see, not a lot of investment necessary. You can just use blankets and cushions that you already have at home. I do recommend that if you're looking to purchase something, to get the fitball, just make sure it is the right size, either 55 centimeters, 65 or 75 centimeters. And you can use it throughout the 2nd and 3rd trimester for sitting, exercising, relaxing your pelvis, making sure your belly goes into that hammock positioning. And then it is very useful during labor. Your doula can use it to give you a massage. If you are going through contractions / surges, you can roll on the ball. This is very helpful. And then when the baby is born, in the newborn phase, you can use this fitball to bounce your baby on it. It is such a great hack if your baby needs to be soothed.